And we welcome you courtside here at the Pierce Sports Center in San Bernardino, California for our third match here on Father's Day 2022 as we wrap up our fourth NVA regular season event of the 2022 campaign. I'm Ira Thor, joined alongside Dog Daddy Nick England, celebrating his first Father's Day as the father of a pup, and we get to celebrate it right here courtside with us.
It's been dubbed Father's Day at the household for us.
Nice.
Nice pun always goes a long way.
Well, we appreciate the fact that Ollie's been a big part of the broadcast this year. Happy Dog Dad Day to you, my friend. And we're going to call an interesting matchup today where obviously on paper you would think this would heavily favor the Texas Tyrants as they take on the Seattle Sasquatch. Texas comes in at 6-1 on the year. The only loss of the year came to the only unbeaten team left in the NVA, New Jersey, who is now 8-0. Seattle's got one win on their record in their first year as an expansion franchise. They're 1-6 on the year. They lose this one today, and they are officially ousted from the playoff consideration. But what makes this considerably more interesting, Texas only has 6 available position players. Gianluca Grasso, their star outside hitter, he is out. He went down with a leg injury, a right quad injury, second set of their match earlier this week. And he's going to coach. He's the owner of the team as well. He's going to coach this match today in the absence of his father, Mauro Grasso, who's recovering from injury and recovering from a surgery. So in the event of an emergency, yes, he could step out there. They don't want to see that. They want to see him rest and get ready for the third event. But alternately, Ryan Mounty, their only true middle who's here this weekend, he also got injured in the last match. I spoke to him before the game, and we'll tell you more about his injury as we go on. But right now, we're going to send it sideline, and we have Noah Chast, our third member of our crew, standing by with Gianluca Grasso, not only to talk about his injury, but talk about today's match.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ira. And here with Coach Grasso Jr., younger Coach Grasso. And just first off, you were telling me, how's your leg feeling? How's the hamstring?
I aggravated a little bit yesterday during that game, but fortunately we have players that could come in and get the job done. I trust in them, and we practice together every day. So, like I said, I trust that they can get the job done today again.
Obviously already short on your roster for this weekend. What are you expecting to see out of your boys in orange and white?
Like you said, unfortunately, we're a bit short, but every guy that's in here, that's in there right now warming up, wants to play. Even most of them are bench players. They want to get this opportunity and take advantage of it and do as best as they can.
Do you start looking at the matchup in the game differently when you know you're not playing and you're fully in that coach role?
Yeah, you start noticing, a little bit of different things of what that side is doing, how they're communicating, how my side is communicating, what their passing line is doing, what their blockers are doing, because when I'm playing, I mostly have to pay attention to the server and, or who's blocking me and stuff like that. So as a coach on the sideline, obviously you start noticing different things and you pick up on, little things that are important for the team as well.
Where do you think you add more, on the court or on the sideline?
That's a tough question. I don't really know. I think that either way, I like doing both, coaching juniors and even now, this isn't really coaching. This is just helping out my teammates. My dad is the actual coach, so I love doing it. I love watching them play. I love watching them succeed, so.
I'll answer for you. I'm sure you're a phenomenal coach, but you do amazing things on the court. So that's where we prefer to see you. We hope you rest up and get healthy. But good luck coaching your Tyrants on the sideline for today.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, good luck. Guys, we'll send it back to you guys.
Thank you, Noah, and thank you, Gianluca, who is, again, he's got a right quad injury. He knew that he was hurt. He tried to play for one more play, he was telling me. But, again, the Tyrants are a legitimate title contender. There is no need in the world for him to try to chance that at this time of the year. Get healthy. The weekend of July 8th, 9th, and 10th is our final event of the season. The Tyrants are going to be playing deep into August. The question is, how long it's going to take to recover. So going back to Ryan Mounty. So I was talking to him pregame. Again, he suffered the ankle injury. I believe it's his left ankle. He's got it wrapped up nice. Again, this happened on Friday. They had the day off yesterday. He's iced it. He is applied heat. He's gone in the hot tub and used that for some therapy. So he says he's ready to play. He says it's not bothering him as much as he thought. Obviously, he's a competitor and he's going to try to will it out. You've been in that moment yourself. And here's the problem. They don't have Austin Lovett this weekend.
Right.
They don't have a lot of other options.
I think they're very fortunate, though, in the sense that looking across the net, we're going to still see Damian Higashi taking hands with Jeffrey McDonald's in that libero spot. So, Seattle not fielding, no Sam Cole this weekend either. So definitely some spots there. Cody McCracken, we talked about issues with his right knee meniscus tearing. So just a variety of, we're seeing that as the season gets longer with the NVA, some of these athletes got to take the steps to make sure that their bodies are ready for it. There's a lot of volleyball to be played, so we've reduced the teams playing from 3 matches a weekend down to just 2, but still a lot of care has to be taken. I mean, shoot, I'm feeling it. After playing 2 matches this weekend, your body it's taking a toll. So if you're not ready to do it, some tweaks here and there could be a bad time.
Now, again, as you mentioned, for Seattle, the same lineup they had on the match on Friday as they lost to the Stingers in 3 sets, 19-20 and 19. We're going to see it again as starting at setter will actually not be Jeffrey McDonald. He will be in the libero spot wearing the off-colored white. Damian Higashi, who is their typical starting libero, he is going to start at setter. I thought he did a pretty good job in consideration, but again, that's not his natural position. And right now, how much can Seattle be competitive knowing this?
Yeah, one of the things I look at when you're making as an outside hitter, when you're making adjustments based on a new setter, the biggest thing is you talk about slow to fast. I want to see Silva on the outside slow his approach down a little bit and then kind of chase the ball. I think he was kind of still on a normal approach speed, thinking he was getting a tempo set, which Damian, not being a true setter, that's just not what you're going to get. And I think that's going to be on the hitters, unfortunately, to do a little bit of that adjusting. Take a quick look over at the lineups on the side of the Seattle Sasquatch on the outsides. We see Austin Schumacher, Peter Silva in the libero jersey is going to be McDonald, Damian Higashi taking hands. In the middle, we see Pat Gallahan, and on the opposite, we're going to see Tenatali. You got the Tyrants.
For Texas, you have Ryan Mounty. He'll be opposite Daniel Jacobs in the middle slot today. Gabo Quiones will set. Right side will be high-flying Tim Johnson. Always a lot of fun to watch. Isaiah Achfali will be one of the outsides, joined by Anthony Robinson. And then Jose Malero, as we call his name and number, reaches out and digs someone. Great play by the undersized, most vertically challenged player in the league. And what's interesting, so I was talking to Ryan Mounty before this match, and if somebody else goes down or if Ryan, for whatever reason, cannot continue, well, they only have one player on the bench. That's your libero. Now, obviously, Jose Malero is not going to be an offensive weapon out there, but he did, in the past, play outside hitter in the Puerto Rican League, and it's been a few years, but, don't sleep on Jose Malero. If his number is called, he's going to put in the effort and be fun to watch.
Yeah, so the way that works, just for a little, heads up, is basically if someone is deemed ineligible to continue, Malero will go switch jerseys. He'll go to the orange print, and from there, they will use only those 6 remaining players to continue. How they choose to line him up, he would obviously be listed as a middle blocker at that point, going all the way around. What the team does from that point strategically in terms of where they put him as a blocker would change point to point, so something to keep an eye on.
And that point goes over to Texas. Afagi with the kill off of the block as the Tyrants have tied it early on 2-2. Texas, again, they come in at 6-1. They are in first place in the National Central. They've won their last 2 matches as they have earlier this week defeated Southern Exposure in 4. Interesting about that match, by the way. 25-20, they won the first set. Then the injuries started coming in game 2. They lost 25-11. That is the worst single set loss that the Tyrants have ever had. But there's an asterisk to it due to everything that was happening with medically.
They were problem solving on the fly there for sure.
And then they came back and won handily 19-21 to take that match. This will be run down by Schumacher. The Seattle Sasquatch lost on Friday to the Stingers, as I said, in 3. And right now they are certainly playing for pride because they would have to go on a run here at the end of the season, win their final 3 to have a shot for the playoffs. Not looking like that will happen in year 1. Colorado, cracking their counterpart in terms of expansion teams this year, was in playoff position. They have now lost their last 4 to fall to 2 and 6. They're still mathematically alive, but it gets tougher now.
There are plenty of ways for them to still find it in there. Ball called in, point for Seattle, overruled up top. Quick note to a little throwback here. You look at the personnel on the side of the Tyrants. This is basically the 6-2 roster they ran last year. They would run a Gabo Quinones alongside of Tim Johnson, and they would be replaced by Isaiah Afagi as well as Daniel Jacobs coming in to replace them. So all 4 of those guys never shared the court because they shared positions. But right now, all 4 of them on the court at the same time, making it work. Anthony Robinson was the second outside with Grasso last year. So this is a little nod to the boys that made their appearance and debut for the Texas Tyrants last year.
We go here to Tim Johnson, dug up by McDonald. Silva, if they're going to be victorious today, he needs to heat up. He has had moments of brilliance this year, but he's also had moments where he's been invisible, and they can't afford that today.
Yeah, definitely not. That's a good swing there, using all of the hands up on that triple block to his advantage.
The roll shot will fall in front of Tinatali as the side out goes back as Anthony Robinson with the useful spot. Anthony Robinson, 6'2" outside hitter out of Waianae, Hawaii. He's 30 years old. Tim Johnson, useful ace in the back corner as the Tyrants dance it up. And Texas has themselves a 6-5 advantage. And Tim Johnson looks for deja vu but can't find it. We will have one more match this weekend. That will be 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern, as Battle of Southern California, as we see the LA Blaze trying to snap a losing skid, 3 in a row against 3 certain playoff teams. They'll take on the Inland Empire Matadors, who saved their playoff chances last night with a 5-set win over Colorado. And quite frankly, I thought they showed some sheer signs of getting better throughout that match. I didn't like the close of that match yesterday.
Yeah.
However, I do like what I'm seeing out of the Matadors of late. So definitely stick around later tonight for the conclusion of our weekend. Here's Schumacher swinging away, and that one is run down by Tim Johnson. Well read for him. Tinatali swinging away, and off of the shoulder of Johnson, he connects for the winner.
That was a great D-ball run there. Good recognition of blocking. Well done by Higashi. Celebrated his 25th birthday, if I'm not mistaken, on earlier this week, Friday, if I'm not mistaken.
Happy birthday to him. And that is a triple block for Seattle, but the Sasquatch were into the net. And they're saying it's on Tinatali. He doesn't believe that ever happened, so they are going to challenge it. If it's reversed, that will stand as a triple block for the Sasquatch.
This was a very explicit call. They asked for a jersey number. It was given. This is a bold challenge. And once again, we always talk about challenging early. You're down 7-8. Just because you can challenge something and don't agree with the call doesn't mean it's time to challenge it every time. Well, especially if your jersey's what's being called for the net here, you wouldn't feel that. So I don't love this challenge.
Here's the thing. Seattle right now, they're playing for pride. And if they keep falling behind by these large 4 or 5 point deficits before you get to the midway point of the match, you know, they have not been able to figure out how to bounce back when they have such a margin. So at this point, they're doing whatever they can, Nick, to remain 1-2 points or no less behind Texas. They lost it. The decision was bad. You were right on the money where you say you cannot feel sometimes if your body hits the net rather than your hand.
Yeah, I mean,
you're right. I understand though the rationale. As they,
I don't think it's excusable. I'll be honest. At this level, you need to understand game state. Down by 1, that's not the point you fight for. You're going to need it later.
Well, here's the thing: if you win the challenge, you get to keep it though. So you got to keep that in mind.
Right, but why? At 8-7, I think it's bad management. But yeah, we'll agree to disagree, and that's okay.
Schumacher will serve here. That is blocked back, and this time it counts as Gallahan and Tinatali with the rejection. And when we look at Austin Schumacher serving, he was the one bright spot for sure, at least in offensive numbers in the loss to Utah on Friday. He had 11 kills. However, he did have 5 attack errors that were unforced in that match. So we'll see if he cleans that up today. And the blocking game is working for the Sasquatch. Gallahan and Tinatali back-to-back. It would have been 3 in a row if they stayed off the net.
No, that is 3 in a row. They got the kill and 2 blocks. They were down by 1 at 8-7
It would have been 3 blocks in a row.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. 3 blocks in a row. But this is to reopen a fresh wound. This is my point. They lost the challenge. They've still scored 3 points in a row. They now have a 2-point lead, and their efforts, they've now scored another point. They
Maybe
have opened up
not
a
winning that
3-point
challenge
lead.
woke them up a little bit.
Possibly. I enjoy your optimism. But again, if they had just given themselves to play the game, now they're 4 points up. They have that challenge still in pocket, and I hope it doesn't come back to bite them. But we've seen it happen to teams, so.
I have inspired Nick with my positivity. That is dug over, but that won't stay between the lines, and that will be a side out for Texas. They still trail, however. It was 11-8 prior to that, so they're within 2. And we'll take a look at Gabo Quiones. Just 27 years old out of Guaynabo, Puerto Rico.
Nice pass.
Quiones is right there for the nice set, but that is dug up by Higashi. So McDonald has to dig it up to Silva, and Silva puts it off the block and into the stands.
Nice little bump set backwards by McDonald. You can tell that he's done that one quite a bit. Makes it work for him there.
Now, McDonald typically would be in that starting setting role. Due to other circumstances, is not this weekend. Higashi, who's typically your libero. He has first hands, but here's the issue, Nick. When your libero, usually your setter, is off the court, who has that second ball?
Outside hitter. Outside hitter should step in, middle back, especially on a dig like that.
And they did not.
They did not. Yeah, Schumacher didn't quite see that, but I'd like to see him step in there. Nice pass.
That's 2 breakdowns in a row communication-wise. That is blocked back. Spinning, saved there. This time McDonald, a little bit behind Schumacher, but he gets the swing and misfires long. And now Seattle, after showing some promise, Nick, they are breaking down in front of our eyes.
Yeah. Out of system is called out of system for a reason, but you've got to be able to figure out how to manage and keep rallies going. Their blocking has been working well for them. Give yourself a chance to make another blocking move. Don't end it on a missed swing.
We'll see now with that service error if they can take advantage up to 13-11. They go to Robinson. Power tip for a point. Smart play by Robinson, who has mostly been a reserve this year, but when he's come off the bench has certainly showed abilities to be a productive part of this Texas offense.
Yeah, he's a very well-rounded player.
And that is an ace for Daryl Jacobs. As that ball ends up somewhere underneath our broadcast set up here at courtside. First ace of the match. Daniel Jacobs will serve. Big swing from Silva, ricochets off the sky. And that is what Peterson Silva is capable of doing. And it's just, how do they get him going consistently, Nick? I don't have the answers because we've seen two sides of him this year. The inefficient side and then the beast of an attacking outside. Ryan Mounty over on one. That's blocked back on the attack by Robinson. He tips this one. And that one will sail off the court. Tinatali was not in position to cover that play.
That was a tough one. To answer your question, though, in terms of how do they keep Silva involved, it's really try to keep your setting as in system as possible. But if he just waits on the ball, get behind it, he's going to get some good swings.
So we are going to see a substitution, which we saw a bit the other day.
Moy in for Pele.
Moy did have some serving woes when he came on in place of Pele Siasosi. As our match on, and it continues here today. Same thing we saw on Friday. So that serving specialist role not working out right now.
Certainly not, but you know, when that happens, you just continue the battle. Tied up at 15, seeing them in a decent spot. You just got to battle back and answer back with a pass.
Here's Anthony Robinson at Graceland University. And that one off the tape and out of play. And misfire by Schumacher will take us to our technical timeout with the Texas Tyrants having now stormed back. They lead by one, 16-15. Timeout here on the court. We'll be back for more live from the Pierce Sports Center. Back courtside, Schumacher getting a chance to swing, and that one will sail along. And you know, Nick and I have talking off the air a little bit about, well, what Seattle can do better. You know, Higashi has, I think, done a pretty good job of filling in so far today, but
yeah,
again, it's a basic offense.
Look, that right there is exactly what you want to see. Higashi, I've got a great seat to see where the speed, tempo, location. I'll be honest, I'm putting the blame on the outside hitters right now for the missed serves, or missed swings. I think Higashi's delivering a reliable, consistent set. There's not a lot of tempo to that, but when you have a non-setter in there, that's all you can hope for. And it's your job as the outside right now. They're playing some well-rounded ball. They're blocking well. There's good defense. They're getting out-of-system opportunities. They're playing the rally. Make the Tyrants make the mistake. You can't do that as an outside hitter. Just wait on the ball, keep it in front of you. If the block is there, tip, wipe it off the hands. But don't make the mistakes on just easy, executable balls. You don't have to put it away right away. And I think some of that urgency, maybe a little bit of the timidness, staring down the orange pinstripes on the other side, is giving them a little bit of that, that sense of urgency.
I mean, if you're Seattle, you will never have a better opportunity to beat the Tyrants like you do today. No Jake Langlois, he is out. No Austin Lovett, he is out. No Gianluca Grasso, he's out with an injury and coaching on the sideline. Ryan Mounty is clearly not at 100%, but he is certainly a warrior out there today. If you can't beat the Tyrants today, then, you know.
This team's a couple years off.
Certainly like to see how Seattle continues to evolve as a franchise, finish this season strong. Of course, we do have one more regular season event coming second weekend of July, just 3 weeks from now. And Tim Johnson and company will look to be 7-1 when we get there.
I like that rally a lot more. Sasquatch not finding their, the sets where they want them. Their guys are roll shotting, they're tipping, they're looking for an aggressive touch to try and extend rallies. I like that a lot more.
You're looking at the stats for the year in the league. Jake Langlois, who we said is not here, former national team member. Well, he's 4th in the league in scoring. Gianluca Grasso is top 10 himself. Those are 2 ginormous weapons not out there. And Seattle still not able to find a way to be consistent offensively. And like you said, and you nailed it, let Texas, with this less experienced lineup, be the one to beat themselves. But no, that's not happening here, and they continue to lead now by 2, 20-18. They will go to Tinatali. That's an effective swing as they were able to slip it past Afagi. So Isaiah Afagi couldn't get the hands there. This will be an opportunity for Patrick Gallahan. And exactly as you called it, Nick, let Texas do it themselves.
The blocking is phenomenal from Sasquatch. We just saw Southern Exposure put up 26 terminal block points in their match today.
Incredible.
They won a game with their blocking. There's no reason they can't do it here.
Afagi with the bury.
Still, to be down by 1, they're in a good spot.
Listen, I've been high on the Tyrants all year. They were my preseason pick to win the NVA Cup this season, but just as a volleyball fan and broadcaster, I want to see Seattle be competitive in this one, and I'm sure the Tyrant fans will be disagreeing with that sentiment in the chat here on our YouTube channel. But again, Colorado's been extremely competitive this season, even in losing efforts in their debut season. I mean, you want to see, just for the growth of the franchise, Seattle be in matches like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's Robinson. That will be a tool to block side out Texas. Good hands for Nick England. So side out here for the Tyrants as they look to try to take game number 1. But there's Peterson Silva. Oh, swinging away, the number 9 scorer in the NVA. That is what we are looking for from Silva.
Gosh, he fired up, found the one-handed connection coming across the net. Someone that normally doesn't even see the front row, that's an entirely different look than he's used to.
Well, Silva is alive here. That's 6 kills for him. Oh, Ryan Mounty just doing bad things. Injury to what? That was a perfect 1 ball.
I don't know what I just saw.
We saw Ryan Mounty just really do bad things.
He almost just like threw that down. I wouldn't, not that I have any issue with the way it happened, but he was on top of that. Good ball, tight.
And tough angle there. Schumacher cannot dance the line. And the Texas Tyrants have forced Seattle into a timeout. 24-22, 2 set points for Texas when we return. And this will be set point number 1 for Tim Johnson and company. Higashi keeps that one alive. The tip into a useful spot by Schumacher, almost as if he was reading Nick England's mind.
Swing management. That's the name of the game when you're an outside hitter.
Well, they will allow Associate Pele to stay on the court here because the serving substitution with Justin Moi has not worked out. Set point number 2, and that will end it here as Anthony Robinson comes through. And despite a gallant effort, I thought, from the Seattle Sasquatch, gallant was not enough as the Texas Tyrants, too much, even with a shorthanded roster. They win 25-23. Set 2 will come up next here at the Pierce Sports Center. Stay with us. Back here courtside, Ira Thor joined alongside Nick England, the man of the match on Monday when the Las Vegas Ramblers, despite missing a ton of pieces, it didn't matter because Nick is that good.
I appreciate
As the Ramblers have won 4 in a row. They're 7-1 on the year. 14 kills for Nick in that June 17th win over the Tornadoes. Were any as resounding as that? I don't know. He did have a block of Felix Chapman, though. Solo block. Greatest solo block I've ever seen in my life. At least a solo block celebration. Not a great pass. Higashi was lucky to save that. Scrambling, broken play here for Texas. And that one. Nice swing for Afagi to catch the back corner. Difficult play to pass.
Yeah, Afagi's having a field day out there. He is swinging well into that triple block over there. 2 big kills in a row.
So here's Gabo Quiones, 6'2", out of IPFW. Reach out and stuff someone. Big time, Jacobs shutting it down. Tim Johnson was there as well, but that was all Jacobs. And we look at game number 1. The numbers, well, what really stands out to me, Nick, Sasquatch had 7 unforced errors. They were never blocked. Never blocked.
And there
7
it is right there.
errors.
Schumacher blocked back into himself. You got him. You jinxed him.
That is the prototypical announcer jinx.
We get a lot of those, don't we?
Look at all the trouble that we caused. 4-0 Texas on top. Quick timeout, back for much more. Back courtside here, Seattle. That's a useful timeout for them as they are able to break. Actually, no, I take that back. I was looking at the bench there. That's now 5-0. What match am I watching here? They will make a substitution and they will bring in Coronado, number 18. Javon Coronado did not have a kill on 8 swings in the loss to Utah on Friday. Here's Tim Johnson swinging away, nails the back line. And now that we know the score, the Tyrants running away early, 6-0.
Johnson went completely over the double block of Gallahan and Coronado there. Definitely no surprise for anyone that's watched him play any bit of his volleyball. Just absolutely skies.
Will this be where Seattle breaks through? No. Complete breakdown of communication.
Break through, more like break down, Ira. 7-0. The wheels on the bus might have fallen right off.
Wheels on the bus might be flat. Gotta figure this one out. Coronado swinging away, and there you go. Fresh body off the bench, high off hands. And the Sasquatch able to get a side out. Schumacher will serve. And the tip, a useful spot for Jacobs. Again, middle is not his typical spot. He is a pin hitter. He's filling in here. Austin Lovett is not available this weekend. Tyrants don't have a lot of bodies available to take the court. Gianluca Grasso, who's their superstar, is out with a quad injury. He's coaching today instead in the absence of his father, Moro. That is blocked back. Triple block for Texas. Robinson, Johnson, Jacobs. 3 of the best. And of course, Jake Langlois, if you missed it earlier, he also not available this weekend. It's a lot of firepower not available in the arsenal. As Seattle able to tool the block and get a side out, but they find themselves in a gigantic Texas-sized hole, 9-2.
And both of those points off the back of Coronado, who just subbed in.
Here is Gallahan. A little miscommunication, but they clean it up. Tim Johnson with the power tip. That nearly fell in. And that one will, as Coronado's come off, and you know what, off the bench, showing us a ability to contribute. Maybe getting pulled after that lackluster effort on Friday night has helped them to refocus.
3 kills of 3 points now. He is that team on the right side of the court for us.
But I mean, you're seeing this, I'm saying this, with the change of positions, with Higashi not playing libero today and with McDonald having to do so. There's a lot of balls that are falling that normally you'd have somebody there to defend.
Yeah, it's a great point. It really is. And, you know, you've seen the unfortunate part is Higashi's still playing fantastic defense. It just kind of leaves the rest of the team a little starstruck at times when they're not sure who's supposed to take second ball.
And that one, not a friendly bounce. They go to Tim Johnson. Johnson down the line, but he misfires. Tim Johnson, one of the highest hops of anybody in the league. He's a lot of fun to watch, but he's got to be a little bit more accurate with what he's unloading. Sometimes you don't just have to crank it. Ryan Mounty gets stuffed by Pele. Another block for Seattle as they try to will themselves back into this one. They've cut what was a 9-2 deficit down to 10-6. So Tim Johnson swinging this time, getting the outcome. Knocking Schumacher almost out of his shoes. Out of the back row. Oh, what a swing by Afagi.
Afagi's having himself a fantastic match. Played setter last year. Was a very, very impressive outside hitter during his college years. So good to see him returning a bit to that role here this weekend.
Played at Clark University. He's out of Hollister, Connecticut, or California, I should say. Tim Johnson runs that one and sends it over, allows everyone to reset. Peterson Silva, Jose Malero tried to use his shoulder as a platform and doesn't work out. So here will be Peterson Silva to serve. Tim Johnson flying, and that is a 10-foot line violation as he was over the tape. So Seattle, this is what we talked about in game one, Nick. Allow Texas to make some mistakes on their own and capitalize, and they've done so to the point where they're within 4.
Yeah, and it's something that's you know, been a bit of a struggle for Tim Johnson this season. Oh no, McDonald loses the handle. That ball was a freebie in his breadbasket.
Here's Schumacher swinging away. That is blocked back, and they get it done as Quiones and Ryan Mounty with the stuff. Doing a good job of closing off that net.
Bill, move your mic.
And a big smash down the line as Pele gets involved in the action. Pele with the serve for Seattle. And Afagi gets the line. Good angle, sharp angle for him to be able to connect on.
He feels automatic right now. Front row, back row does not matter. The man is getting a lot of points.
Here's Ryan Mounty. And you see the right knee. He's got the brace on it to help his mobility. Tim Johnson, good pass off a deflection. And again, it's his second 10-foot line violation. I don't know if he's having mistiming with it or difficulty seeing it for some reason, but that's 2 times in this set. And now it's 15-10.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing at the end of the day is Johnson has so much vertical prowess. Just jump aggressive, but take a little bit off the swing. Just control it all a little bit more, and he's still going to have more than enough.
Quinones tried to dump it on 2. It was read by Seattle, but they misfire here offensively. And now the lead back to 6 for Gabo Quinones and company. Saved by Seattle after the block down. Big swing from Silver from the back row. Dumped over by Robinson. Higashi looks for Coronado and he tools the block.
He's Grasso, he's the oldest player in the league at 39. Do you have any older? No, he's not. Mincy's 34. Right? Because they were teammates. Come on, Bill. Mincy's like...
They go to Peterson Silva, too high for most human beings, and will definitely Jose Malero, as that is a tool off the block and a Seattle side out. 17-12 is your score.
Mincy was born August of 19. He's like 30.
Back set Tim Johnson. And this time the error's on Seattle as he draws him into the net. And that one is a ball handling error against Seattle. You can tell the slippery ball goes through his grasp, and this set is certainly gone through the grasp of the Sasquatches. They fought their way back within 4, but now again face their largest deficit at 19-12. They call timeout. Come back for the conclusion of this one here in San Bernardino. Back here courtside as Jacobs will serve for the Tyrants. And he goes after Schumacher and uncorks the ace.
Well, here's a fun one. There's a question in chat. It says, what's the age range like for these teams? Now, the majority of these players, post-college NCAA athletes, 22, 23 years old, up to about 33 generally is where that common range kind of ends.
No different than any other professional league where most of your professional athletes are in that 10 to 15-year range of each other.
But if you want to hit the extremes, we can go look at the youngest player in the league, Trenton Lance, 20 years old on the Colorado Kraken. Just a couple months younger than Antonio Anguizzola from Wow, big X ball comes through.
Anthony
Nice kill.
Robinson showing that age is just a number. He's 30. He's a pup.
Yep, but Antonio Anguizola, the 21-year-old on the OC Stunners, oldest in the league, 43, turning 44, is Sam Laracuente for the Southern Exposure. He was here last event. Some of the more notable older names, the likes of Russ Holmes at 39 years old. So there's kind of like a median average right around there, that 23, 30 years old, right, or 23 to 33. That 10-year span is most common.
However, the second oldest player in the league, based on our math here, is actually on the court right now for the Seattle Sasquatch, and that is Jeffrey McDonald, number 1, the libero, born in December 1980. He is 41 years old and still doing it. He's no Tom Brady, but he's certainly, playing deep into his senior years.
It's really one of those interesting things. You talk about guys that have just, a varying age group. For example, George Mencia with the Utah Stingers, coming in at 31 years old, almost 32. He's been playing professional volleyball since he's born in Cuba. He's been playing professional volleyball longer than he hasn't been. He went pro at 16 or 17 years old, so he has now actually been playing.
Oh, Robinson, the dagger down the line.
But definitely an interesting question to give some context about where these guys are at. Some played college club, D1, NAIA, D2, D3. Some guys went pro right out of high school, depending. We are also doing the math. We've got over 10 countries represented in the league.
23-14, 9-point lead. That's a little too tight for Pele to do any dancing with. And just more and more of Isaiah Afagi. He's put himself in position to be the leader on the stat column today, and his team now has 10 set points.
Well, this is a little bit more of the Tyrants volleyball we were expecting to see. Regardless of the personnel, they've kind of sorted out the answer to the question, that is Seattle Sasquatch.
Afagi has 9 kills. That leads all players. Tim Johnson's got 6. Anthony Robinson's got 7, so it's been a pretty well-rounded effort. They have set point number 2. They go back to Afagi, and that is an exclamation mark here in game number 2. The Tyrants dance it off. They lead 2-0, and they are well on their way to a 7-1 record on the season. Take a break and come back for game number 3 here at the Pierce Sports Center. The Tyrants clicking on all cylinders. He's Nick England. I'm Ira Thor. No Chess is here too. He'll talk to our man of the match when this one concludes. And I mean, if we had to make a decision right now, it's Isaiah Afagi. He has been sensational, filling in here for so many missing pieces. Again, we'll say it again. Tyrants are winning 2-0 right now and made it look simple in the last set. No Gianluca Grasso, no Jake Langlois, no Austin Lovett. Ryan Mounty has one leg. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to, this is also where you see what players are made of. And Tyrants, they got plenty of guys that are, as Coach Grasso said before the game, or Gianluca said, you know, this is some of our bench, but that doesn't mean those guys aren't more than capable players. You've got to have a deep roster.
Over ball, Ryan Mounty gets it to go. They celebrate better than anybody in the league. I'll give them that too. Them and Southern Exposure, Tyrant Southern Exposure. I guess Southern Exposure has the best post-game interview celebration, as they always huddle around.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
And that one will fall into the campfire zone, side out for Seattle. Yeah, the Southern Exposure remind me almost like a college baseball team huddling around the post-game interview. It's kind of entertaining.
Have you seen the Savannah Bananas?
I have seen some of the clips.
There's entertaining.
That's a great marketing tactic.
Yep.
It's actually a shame that the Southern Exposure have not won more, because I would love to participate in more interviews with them post-game because they're a ton of fun, but I think that's only been our third time having them on the court.
Yeah, you got to win if you want to get talked to. You know, if you want to have Noah talk to you, you know, he doesn't like to talk to teams that don't win. I guess he's a bandwagon interviewer.
Sort of comes with the job description here.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to check the fun.
It is called man of the match.
Peterson Silva really trying with that attack. Was dug up, though, by the Tyrants. And Afagi. Another chance here for Seattle. The roll shot by Coronado right into the wheel basket of Jacobs. And then Tim Johnson has started to fix some of what was ailing him. He's piling up kills now. And that's going to certainly help the Tyrants here as they look to close this out in a quick 3 sets. As he now has 7 kills. That matches Anthony Robinson for second on the team. Afagi, 11 and counting. That one eats up McDonald. Tough one for Coronado, but he gets the touch.
Yep, good high swing, challenging deep into the court there. I really like that look. Coronado's having a very, very successful effort here off of the bench. Now we're gonna see a substitution. Jackson replacing Pele.
So substitution here for the Seattle Sasquatch. Ramon Jackson out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Just turned 30 years old in April. This will give Schumacher a chance to swing. Brought back by Afagi. And a solo stuff in the middle. Heads up play. Javon Coronado.
Unfortunately, Ira, for the Sasquatch, they called Coronado in the net on that play. And he knew it too.
That is so disappointing. America was excited to see the solo stuff, and now
he was all over that read. He really saw it coming, just didn't quite get the execution that he wanted there.
And that is, I believe, the Ira special blocking the free balls over. Am I correct?
That only happens in really bad beach volleyball. That's a great ace there by Afagi, adding to his point total. Yeah, Noah's referring. I play in a over 40, mostly for fun, beach league in Manasquan, New Jersey, and I love my team, but they're not very good. And I was getting frustrated, and the other team wasn't very good, so I just was like, you know what, enough of this nonsense. I just started blocking for overballs.
And what was your overpass block total?
Well, they don't count. I think it was about 13 or 14. I was keeping track, but maybe one of them was a legit attack. So I don't, unfortunately, have Uchenna Ofoha numbers.
I mean, 13. I mean, with those numbers, you got to pull a Nick England and unretire.
If you saw the other team, you would not be as impressed.
Wow, easy stab dig there from Malero.
That was a nice one-hand dig by Jose. And this one he won't need to bring back wide of the line by Coronado. And for the Seattle Sasquatch, they find themselves in another early hole, 7-3. You know why I enjoy playing in it, though? Because after we're done, we go to the bar. And that's the best highlight of the evening.
Yeah, keep it social, mix up the week a little bit.
It's a Tuesday night. What else would you rather do in Jersey during the summer on a Tuesday night?
Well, and I hope you're winning, Ira, because to quote Johnny Gomez, who was quoting his college coach, milkshakes always taste better after a win. And he told me he was kind of keeping that PG because his coach really told him beer tastes better after a win.
Knowing his collegiate coach, Jay Hosack, who I've had a great relationship with over the years at George Mason, I think that was a very PG version of that tale.
Yeah.
One of the great coaches on the East Coast of Division I men's volleyball.
Both a beer and a milkshake equally as enjoyable after a win, I think, depending on if you're playing outside and whatnot.
And that's a touch. Robinson on the attack. He gets the kill. And that sides it out for the Tyrants. That's some throwback hip-hop for you, buddy. Higashi will leave it here for Coronado cross court. That is collected by Kionis off of the support beam. And Robinson tried and free it over wrong side of the antenna. Kionis is talking to his team about location, trying to calm them down as well. Good leadership on the court by the floor captain, with Gianluca Grasso not on the availability list today. And a misdirection there. Robinson, I'll tell you what, Afagi's our man of the match, but Robinson is having himself a day as well.
Yeah.
Finding those little windows where he's able to score points.
Yeah, I mean, Robin's just been a consistent guy on this roster for the last 2 years. Before that, he was on the Ontario Matadors back in 2020. And, you know, a lot of experience, and utilizes it as a key part of this roster here.
Sharp angle there for Coronado. Tim Johnson could not bring it back. And we'll see big middle serving here for the Seattle Sasquatch. Patrick Gallahan, 6'6", out of Silver Spring, Maryland. And that one, no good. Speaking of older players, you know, Gallahan certainly has been around for a bit. He is born in November of 1986, so he's 35. He would probably be in the top 1% of older players in the league. Schumacher, that's a crafty beach shot.
Yeah, that's a good recognition of defense there.
I can tell you that nobody I play with on Tuesday night does that.
I'm sure your knees are thankful.
Not a darn one. Here's Damian Higashi, forced into setting duties today, and I think he's done a pretty good job considering what he's had to work with, but that left short. Passing has not always been there for Seattle. And when you're a backup setter working with a group, you probably haven't had a ton of reps at this game speed. And it's really about the game speed, right? It's a one thing to practice, Nick, but it's to actual practice and have the actual speed you're going to see in live action.
Yeah, you
hard to replicate.
Yeah, you really couldn't be more right. I mean, that's the thing, is you can do it a million times in a practice gym, but when you step on the court and you've got your best six going, the game picks up speed. Everyone's really stepping up, not to hit their practice shots, but they're going full speed, and it changes things significantly.
And to further add to that, your game speed, we're going to be challenged here on the touch or no touch going out of bounds. But to finish that thought, your game speed especially when you're struggling like Seattle is not necessarily going to be on par with what top teams' game speed is as well.
Yep.
So that complicates things even more of how you replicate that.
That was one of our critiques of the match that we saw before this one with Exposure taking on the Stingers is both teams were playing such great volleyball. Then every now and then free ball started coming over a rally full of tips. But neither side kind of taking the initiative to slow it down even mid-play, get a good pass, and just reset it for themselves. That's just one of those hard things of refocusing, recentering in the middle of a point. It's hard to do, but it's an essential skill.
So we have the replay here. We will take a look, and did he get the net on the way down?
They're looking at touches here, I believe, not nets.
I was looking at the net. I thought I saw a net there, but all right, let's look at the touch, which was the original infraction, or I'm sorry, the original challenge. You're seeing this live from our booth upstairs at the second level of the Pierce Sports Center. They zoom in.
That definitely looked like a ricochet off the blocker there.
Did it touch the Seattle Sasquatch going out of bounds, however? It did not. And Texas doesn't win the challenge, but you know what? You know, from that angle, maybe not the most difficult, or I'm sorry, not the most easy to ascertain, and you know, difficult challenge to not, you know, you got 3 to work with. Why not third set? Give it a look.
Yeah.
Here's the attack from the back row. Chance for Texas to get it back, and they do as Afagi adds to his totals for the day. That is kill number 12 for him. Also has a block and an ace in there, so he's really been well-rounded today. 3 blocks for Jacobs, leads all players. You injured over there? Stretching your neck out? Higashi with a one-handed save. Peterson Silva, that's blocked back. McDonald, who's their normal starting setter, and you see the hands. Silva's used to that connection and able to fire through another kill for him. And in a losing cause so far today, he's, I think, played much better. 9 kills. His squad hanging around. In fact, they only trail 12-10 now. They looked like they were going to get blown out here early in this third set. So Seattle cleaning things up. Silva again on this time. No good. Silva can't believe it. He thought he got it. Look at his reaction.
There it is. Challenge comes through. I think that was a good challenge. I didn't have a great look back there, but just when I saw the trajectory on that, everything about that just kind of, I didn't even think twice. I thought it was in.
I thought it clipped the line.
I didn't even see where the line was. I'm just going based on the swing trajectory, things like that, but I didn't think it was even close. So I was surprised to see that called out. So just the generic quick eye check, I like the challenge, but we'll
again, third set, they're down 2 sets to none. Why not?
This is a good challenge at this point in the game, this point in the match.
We're going to look here at the replay. You see Silva going up against a triple block, by the way.
Oh, that's going to be in for sure.
Yeah, we can see that from here.
That's in by a lot.
Yeah, that's definitely in.
Okay, that's kind of why I wasn't. Oh, here you go. Oh man.
You look at Anthony Robinson back, and he reaches out, doesn't have a shot. Look at the bounce here. Look at Robinson's left foot. Yeah, no question about that. That's in by, more than a ball length. And that right there is why we have replay. So that becomes a Another kill here for Silva. Gives him 10, but how about that for an answer? Afagi smoking it off the block. Here's Afagi. Very patient jump serve for him. They leave it for Gallahan, and he's able to tool the middle blocker, Jacobs, and get that to fall for his Seattle answer. 13-12. Sasquatch are hanging around. In fact, they are within 1. Love the fight that we're seeing here in this third set, and certainly using challenges a little bit more efficiently here. Right side, Tim Johnson. Pass by Schumacher to tie it. Coronado. No. But they had their opportunity. Silva has to wait for that one. Laying out for that's Afagi, but it goes into the net. And Peterson Silva now has 11. Here's Robinson. They go to Schumacher, and he's able to tool the block.
Like the swings. Seattle continuing to take better and better swings as this match goes on. Got the name of the game, mitigate the errors, let themselves play. We've been talking about it like a broken record out here, but I think they're doing a better job, and there it is. They get the fingertips of Afagi on a ball that was headed to the back wall. A lucky break there for Silva and the Sasquatch boys. Now with a 1-point lead, 15-14. No technical timeout, I believe, because I think we've already had a timeout, if I'm not mistaken.
They've already had the early timeout, and Seattle. Ooh, Tim Johnson with the answer. McDonald will feel it tomorrow.
If he was having any heartbeat irregularities, they got fixed right there. That one caught him square in the chest.
Well, he is 41 years old, so, those things do happen. I have a cardiologist appointment on Monday when I get back. Having to work with you gives me heart problems. That one is tails wide.
Sounds about right. Heart palpitations.
And we guess we do have a technical timeout here as Texas has now grabbed a 16-15 lead here in this third set. Take a break, come back for more live from the Pure Sports Center. We're back here courtside. 1-point lead for Texas. Nick will rejoin me in a moment. What a save there by McDonald, and Higashi will tip it long. Texas trying to make sure Seattle doesn't have a comeback in them. Run down by Coronado. And there's Silva from the back row. He finds the court to tie it up. Peterson Silva has 12 kills Now one shy of Afagi for the match high, but he's getting them in the most opportune moments now as Seattle is playing to extend this match.
And Ira, this is what I wanted to see pregame, the Sasquatch really playing with that pride and just fighting with everything that they can.
Deep float for Seattle, that is blocked back by Pele. They go to Silva, keep feeding the beast. That's blocked back though by Robinson. Schumacher, reach out and stuff someone. Ryan Mounty and Quiones with the monster rejection.
Wow, Sasquatch right there, a lot of grit, battling well through that point. Unfortunately, the veteran block of the Tyrants proving to be just a little bit too much.
Glad to have you back, Nick. Hopefully you were able to go to the concession stand and maybe get a milkshake. And another block down for the Tyrants. Same combination of Mounty and Quiones. I'll tell you what, when they need to step up, they have. Blocking hasn't needed to be a factor today for Texas.
No, it's been impressive. And that's why Ryan Mounty is such a threat in the middle. His hands are so good, moves laterally very well, even with a hurt ankle.
Nearly 3 in a row, this time well covered, and Higashi puts it down.
Seattle definitely not out of the woods yet. I like the tenacity, that number 4 showing out there.
Well, think about this. Ryan Mounty, we know he's not at 100%. He's probably not even at 60% right now. He is toughing it out because his team needs him.
Yeah, not a lot of options.
The injury is a sprain, a little bit strain of the knee that usually is a 2 to 3 week recovery time at least. Not the knee, I'm sorry. Geez Louise, I'm messing up my joints. The ankle, but he will have 3 weeks to get himself nice and healthy for that July event where the Tyrants will conclude the season playing within the division in the National Central, taking on the Untouchables and the Blaze. None of which will be easy because Chicago, if they bring their full squad, as that is outside the antenna, they're going to be playing for some major pride at that point.
Yeah, I mean, even when we played them yesterday, the Ramblers, there was a lot of conversations about, like, you cannot expect them to just roll over. They gave us a heck of a match. They were playing well.
Well, you said it best. Like players like Will Ragland for Chicago, they'll play until their legs fall off.
Yeah, I mean, and that was, Will and I have become friends more, some of these guys I've known for the better part of a decade. Will and I have become friends through the league. But, man, I have so much respect for the game that he has on the court, loves to be a competitor at its very, very core. And, as long as he's on the court with that team, they're capable of doing some dangerous things.
2-point lead for Texas, 20-18. Oh, a little bit behind Pele. He also, I think, started a little too early. Maybe when he's trying to connect with McDonald, that would work.
Yep, I agree.
Doesn't work with this tandem.
You're hitting the nail on the head, Ira. It's the same thing I was harping on the outsides. You got to give a little bit more time. You got to see it a little bit more. And it's tough for a middle right because you're going so fast that there's not really a chance to delay that.
Did you see the movement right there on that float serve? Nice serve for Texas. Here is Afagi. Oh, cross-court magic.
Number 11 just hammering balls.
22-18. Seattle is going to utilize a timeout. Come back, see how this one ends, live from the Pierce Sports Center. Back here courtside after the timeout for the Seattle Sasquatch. See if they can end this late surge for the Tyrants and maybe extend this match to 4. If not, the Texas Tyrants will be 7-1. They will be one of 3 teams in the league with a 7-1 or better record. That is blocked back. Great pickup by Schumacher. And Silva with the power tip, but one more time, Tim Johnson, hard to avoid. And then you got to deal with Jose Malero doing digs like that. They go back to Silva again. He swings away. Robinson was ready for it. Great effort here all around for Texas. Higashi runs it down. McDonald looking for Coronado, and the best rally of the match ends on a clean play at least.
Yeah, Coronado continues to impress off the bench. Silva taking rip after rip after rip. And the likes of Robinson and Mulero back there showcasing just why so many of the top 5 diggers in the league are on the Texas Tyrants.
And that's an answer for Afagi. Every time Seattle looks like maybe they have a glimmer of hope, he's been the man today to shut that magic down. So now it is 23-19.
Hitting over 60% as an outside right now. Having an absolute and stellar performance here.
Over on 1, back in 1. Anthony Robinson putting it away. And he's in double figures in kills as well. That is his 10th. And the Texas Tyrants with 5 match points. And that lands on the line for a match-clinching ace for Afagi. And the Texas Tyrants are 7-1. They keep rolling their 3rd win in a row. They knock off the Seattle Sasquatch today in 3 sets, 25-23, 25-15, and 25-19. Great effort today for the Texas Tyrants with a roster that was severely depleted due to injury and absence. Seattle, again, they are building not for now, but for the future. And for the Seattle Sasquatch, they fall to 1-7 on the year in the National Coastal Division. They are eliminated from postseason contention, but they will rejoin us for the final event of the regular season, trying to take on 2 of the tough teams in the league, the Stunners and the unbeaten New Jersey Freedom, last year's defending champions, and this year's, well, maybe his biggest surprise at the top of the leaderboard. See if Seattle can close the season strong. But you got to be impressed what you saw from the non-superstars, at least in terms of faces of the league for the Tyrants.
Yeah, so I think that was actually one of the impressive things here that we'll get into in just after this break. But Noah Chass is getting set up on the sideline with our man of the match, Isaiah Afagi. We're going to throw it over to them. Guys, take it away.
Oh, thanks, Nick and Isaiah. Obviously, no Langlois, no Grasso, but you're here and you step up and deliver. What was working out there?
Just slowing everything down. I know I've gained a few pounds since college. I've done this in a while. So I told Gabo, who's a great setter, just, hey, slow it down, let me see the block, and just go from there. It was really helpful playing, Friday, and seeing that huge block. So today I was like, all right, I'm a little bit more of a rhythm than last time.
What does this say about this Tyrants team's depth?
Oh, it's just whoever's out, it's okay. We got someone that's going to step up and be able to play at that high level just thanks to our coaching staff and our just desire to win. We want this.
Is there anyone on defense you want to shout out?
I want to shout out Jose Mulero for passing every seam ball. I think there was a few I just left because I knew he was going to grab it. We just have so much, what's the word? I can't even think right now. It sounds like my interview of Fridays. But just this team is so compatible. We work so well together. If one of us is struggling, someone else is going to pick them up.
7-1, still one of the top teams in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, what does this say about the squad and what you can do come Event 5 and playoffs?
Oh, we're ready for it. We've been working all season long. We've been doing this since, I think, February, starting practicing. We want it. We wanted it last year. We got very close to beating the Stunners in 5, or we lost in 5 last year. We really want this. This is all we want.
You had 16 kills, a block, and 2 aces. I mean, is that a stat line you expected coming in?
I did not. If you were to tell me I was going to do that this weekend, I would have said, nope, you have the wrong person. But, hey, the team needed me to step up, and I'll do it with pride.
Congrats on the win. A phenomenal game.
Appreciate it.
Tyrants taking this one in 3 sets, improved to 7-1. Nick and Ira, take us home.
Thanks, Noah, and man of the match. He deserved it today. And Afagi, just a great all-around effort as we look at the final numbers today. 16 kills for him, hit 57%, only 3 unforced errors, passed at a 67% rate. Jose Mulero doesn't get enough credit sometimes.
Oh,
he passed today in serve receive at a 90% rate. we don't say his name a lot on the court because you know what? He just does his job, does it well. Maybe we'll mention it when he has one of these half-court sprawling digs, but he is maybe the best libero, if not certainly in the conversation in the NVA, and that is a compliment to the way he plays this game. And also today, Anthony Robinson, again, coming off the bench. You know he's an experienced player. 10 kills, hit at 48%, and also passed well today as well. And it just goes, obviously Malero is a starter, but Afagi and Robinson have not been, and goes to the importance of having depth. Some of your guys are going to get hurt. It happens. It's sports. Some of your guys are going to have other obligations. It happens. This is, not a full season league like, Major League Baseball where you're playing 7-8 months, and you do have coaching responsibilities outside of the league, and sometimes you have that conflict. But the injuries you can't do anything to avoid, and today we saw them without Gianluca Grasso, who was here this weekend and suffered a setback, mounting not at 100%. I know this is an important topic for you about the significance of, if you're going to be a championship contender, having legit depth on your team.
Yeah, it was something we were impressed not only in this match, but taking a step back as we're about to approach the end of event number 4 here. We saw Team Freedom significantly reduced in their size. Ramblers, Tyrants, 3 of the top 4 teams only missing from that conversation.
You had to come out of retirement.
Yeah, I was coming back again to play. But really what it shows is these teams know what they can do. You can look at their records and know what their starters can do. It's an entirely different message when you step back and you see what their bench players can do, because all of those teams finished the weekend 2-0, all 3 of them, rocking players that names have not been said yet this season because of their time spent on the bench. But your starters are not who they are if they're not being driven by other guys on the bench, because those guys are ready to take their spots. They're holding them accountable, and they're keeping them ready at practices, things like that. You do not get to be the best team in this league without a bench to match the effort of the on-court prowess of your all-stars. It just doesn't happen.
And you touched on the other point I was going to make. It's not only stepping in matches. Obviously, it's always next man up. You got to be ready when your number's called. But those trainings, the getting ready for these weekends, obviously, a lot of guys have day jobs. They can't train 7 days a week. So when you do have an opportunity to train together, when you have that deeper bench, you have the ability to make those training sessions at the maximum value that you can. And it's showing off with teams like Texas and New Jersey and the Ramblers, and, of course, obviously the Stunners now with Matt Prosser in the coaching box for them. Those are 4 teams, and I don't want to not mention some other teams, but those right now, those are your cream of the crop in the NVA at this moment in time. And it's going to be an exciting finish of the season when we return here July 8th, 9th, and 10th for the 5th and final regular season event, gearing up for the postseason the first weekend of August. Do want to give credit to Seattle. We talked about Peterson Silva needing to be more of a factor, and he was today. Had 12 kills, only had 3 unforced attack errors in this one, and passed at a 61% rate. And Austin Schumacher, 75% serve reception rate today. As a team, Seattle certainly did a better job against a good Texas team in the second half of the match. Just still doesn't have the talent level that an experienced Tyrant squad does, and they do get knocked out of the playoff hunt with this loss. They are 1-7 on the season. In the National Coastal, the Tyrants keep on shooting. 7-1. They've won 3 in a row, and their only loss of the year is to New Jersey. No shame in that, because they are still unbeaten. We're going to have a dogfight to the end of this regular season, and still one more important match to come up today, because 2 teams that are playing for a postseason spot, and that is the LA Blaze taking on the Inland Empire Matadors. That will be Nick and Matt calling that one, as myself and Noah. We're going to hop on a plane and go back to where we came from. Well, actually, Noah came from Pennsylvania, but he's going back to Oregon because he's in the search for some Sasquatch there, I guess. I'm going back to Jersey, but it's been a pleasure to call 8 matches with you guys this weekend here, and our 4th NVA event of the 2022 campaign. For Nick England, Noah Chest, and Matt Prosser, he'll be back here for the last one. And our entire crew, I'm Ira Thor. Thanks for watching. 6 p.m. Pacific time. Stay tuned for the last one. And until then, be well, everybody.